Meagan Good is fixing my hair.
Nobody told me when they lost their virginity, they're like, don't tell Meagan, you know. I can actually say, Lord, I'm mad at you. I don't understand right now. That for me was heartbreaking and just embarrassing and humiliating. And then the fact that people thought I did it on purpose.
Right. All right, y'all, what's going on? I'm Mia Bell, your host of BET Talks, and right now I'm fulfilling my childhood dream. Because do you know who's sitting in front of me? I'm talking Cicely, Nina Jones, Coco, but we're gonna call her Camille for now because we're celebrating Harlem Season 3, the finale. Meagan Good, how are you?
I'm good, no pun intended.
Oh my God, oh yes you are. You real good.
Thank you, thank you.
And we all know that.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Harlem Season 3,
Yes.
the finale.
Yes.
Girl, I done seen the first 3 episodes. I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys. But before we get into that, we're gonna start off with a game because we like to have fun at BET.
Okay.
So I'm gonna test your knowledge a little bit about Harlem.
Okay.
Now, which actors and actresses are not from Harlem? We have A, Tiana Taylor, B, Mekhi Phifer, C, Cicely Tyson, D, Jeffrey Wright, E, Gene Anthony Ray. I know that was a lot of names.
Gene Anthony Ray.
Who's not from Harlem, you are incorrect.
Oh.
D, Jeffrey Wright is from DC.
Wait. Oh. And I met Jeffrey in Harlem.
Really?
Yes, just so you know, I met him in Harlem.
Jeffrey, you fooled Meagan. Round
Okay.
2, listen closely, okay? Eric Estrada, Joe Morton, Jason George, James Baldwin, Yaya DaCosta. Do you need me to repeat the names?
No, I don't know the answer.
Would you like me to call a lifeline?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna help you because I love you that much.
Oh, see, I appreciate that. Good. Okay.
Jason George, he is not from Harlem. He is from Virginia.
And then there's that. Okay.
Virginia, Grey's Anatomy. Anyway, we're here.
This is bad.
It's okay. We're here to celebrate you, of course, and your role in this season finale. I want you to talk about the process in filming this last bunch of episodes before we get into everything else, because this gets very serious. You're tapping into all of the things that us women go through, especially at such a pivotal moment in our lives too, when it comes to reproductive health. I mean, there's so many other facets throughout all the characters in Harlem, but Camille, let's talk about you.
Well, Camille is one of my favorite characters that I've ever played in my entire career. You know, I've been doing this 35 years plus. And I love this character because there's so much to her. A lot of shows that I would watch growing up, I was like, I don't really see myself and I don't see my friend group. And with this show, so many different people are represented in so many different ways that you can look at any character and see parts of yourselves in more than one of them. And I love that we do tackle issues like, you know, fertility and, you know, wanting kids or not wanting kids or fibroids or, you know, just everything that we don't always talk about without just kind of glazing over it. We actually go further than just scratching the surface, you know, and that's what we want. The way that Tracy and Britt and everybody put together the show, it was like, how do we make this a love letter to women? How do we make them feel seen, heard, a part of something, not alone? And you feel that, you know, and it's just been one of the best experiences I've ever had professionally and personally, but creatively, it's been incredible. And then also, I love my cast.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
The energy on the show seems so real, and it makes me want to know what your personal friend group is like. And does it compare to the girls on the show?
Well, they are my personal friend group. But even still, you know, my best friend Amy, we've been best friends for like 28 years. I mean, I have quite a few friends that just are like my sisters, you know, Keely, Tiffany. I mean, I could go on and on, Joelle, whoever it may be, but it's very similar. We are those awkward girls who don't quite fit into a particular prototype. And I think at the end of the day, you know, Black women are not monolithic. So I love that that's explored, you know, in each one of these characters, that you feel that specifically.
Of course.
They're not necessarily a prototype, you know?
Were there any tough moments to shoot within the season where you really had to tap into either a newer version of yourself or an old version of yourself? yourself?
Well, all of it's been that way. You know, we started this show in 2020.
Right.
And then, you know, got 3 episodes in and then went through a pandemic. And then weren't sure if we were coming back. And then we came back and then we went through a strike, you know, and so many things have happened throughout the course of these past 5 years, from, you know, getting divorced to falling in love again, to having babies, to getting engaged and engaged and engaged. And like, so much of our life is mirrored in these characters. And again, that's because of Tracy actually asking, like, how do you feel if we talk about fertility? A lot of places that we all got to go were authentic places that we could relate to, that we understood, or that we were currently to some degree experiencing. And so this year with Camille, for me, I'd ask myself some really hard questions, you know, because I tend to be a positive person, you know, glass half full, like it's always gonna be all right, we always gonna figure it out. And while I love that about myself, I had to ask myself, you know, Meagan, I'm proud of your approach, but what is the thing behind the thing? And then when you get to what that thing is, and then what is the thing behind the thing? And then where did that come from? And then where did that come from? And just like peeling back the layers in order to discover the season that Camille's in, I had to discover the season that Meagan's in. I love that I've been able to grow with her, and I love that I can relate to all of her journey in my own personal way.
What season is Meagan in? You mentioned all the ups and downs of Hollywood and personal life too. Life is happening. What season?
Life is crazy.
Girl.
But you know what? The season.
Tell me about it.
The season that I'm in, a free season. Where I don't care about the things I used to care about. I don't concern myself with the things I used to concern myself with. I have peace, I have joy that's not shakeable by anything that's going on. I'm tapped in. You can be in gratitude and in grief over other things at the same time, but I haven't been this happy in I don't know how long, and I haven't been this free probably ever in my life, maybe since I was a child.
Wow.
Yeah, and then thinking about the other part of it, which, you know, of course, Jonathan's a part of.
Your love. First of all, engaged. Where your ring at? Let me see.
It right here.
Come on. Diamonds, baby.
In the yellow too.
Now, there's so much happening in that freedom that you're speaking of. How did we get there? Was it a lot of therapy? A lot of like your tribe really putting their arms around you during such a critical time too?
Yeah, definitely therapy, definitely, you know, having my mom, my sister, my friends, my dad, like re-evaluating, asking questions, allowing myself to just walk through certain seasons, asking God certain questions, understanding there's moments where I can actually say, Lord, I'm mad at you. I don't understand right now. And coming to the realization of saying it's not really about understanding, it's about trusting. And coming to the realization of how much God loves me. And, you know, I've never been inauthentic in any season of my life, but it's always a journey. I think in this season, I am the complete fullness of myself, everything included. I had to understand how much God loves me before I could get to this place. And I had to remove myself from a certain way of thinking that made me feel like in order to get God's love, I had to be like this, or I had to do that, or I had to approach things a certain way. And then beyond that, just letting go. Stop worrying about things that don't matter, because it just don't matter.
I know with you just being in this industry from young,
Yeah.
literally, baby
Since
girl.
she was a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having to have everyone's perspective and opinions and eyes on you throughout your entire career, especially when you're going through real life. So I'm happy that you are in a space of freedom and really allowing that to shine, because we see it all through your character.
Thank you.
Camille is really going through the steps. She's crashing out, but then she also gathers it together. This is me without giving spoiler alerts, guys, because it's that great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're resilient, man. We're resilient. We're built for it. That's what I love about the show, is that each woman is so resilient that no matter what they're up against, even if there's the initial like freak out, there's that trust that like, all right, we're gonna figure it out. As long as I have me and I have the folks who love me unconditionally, we're gonna figure it out. It's gonna be great.
Now, you and your boo are both in this world of being actors and actresses and having to put on for the screen. How has he helped you in just your career and being the Meagan Good that we all know on that screen? Or elevating it in that way?
He's helped me in so many ways because his work ethic, because the way that he approaches things, because of his support, because of his advice, even just like running lines with me. Like I'll tell him straight up, I'm like, babe, low key, high key, to me, you are the best of your generation. And so I have a tremendous amount of respect for him as a talent in general, but as a human being, I'm quite feisty. I'm very much Leo.
Really?
Like when you grow up in this industry, sometimes child actors, they learn some ways if you walk in or approach things a certain way, it might come off a certain way. So I'm conscious of that even though when I don't mean to be. But at the end of the day, I'm very fiery and I'm very independent.
You're a Leo, aren't you?
I'm very much Leo.
Okay.
Very much so.
I believe it now. I believe it
And
now.
so it's nice to be with someone that I respect this way. And it's not just because they have my best interest, it's because I actually respect them.
Right.
You know, and so it's less about the industry and what we do for a living, and it's more about life and self-improvement. And yeah, it's just
each other.
It's just each other.
Yeah. And then what about family? Because I know you got your sisters. First of all, you planned your sister's baby shower?
Yeah, there's been a few baby showers I planned, but my younger sister.
What is that family dynamic like for you?
You know, family is everything. Like me and my sister, we jump in front of a bus for each other. My nephews, my little sister, she is my heartbeat, one of my best friends, my older brother. It's a gift to be close to your family and to know that you are loved unconditionally and to know that they understand you. And it's not always about like agreeing or anything like that. It's about they understand you as a human being. And that's what unconditional love is, you know? Jonathan fits in perfectly with my family. It's really sweet.
Is it insane?
It is. It is.
Just
like him and my dad have a whole bromance.
Really?
Yeah. We went to go visit my dad and my stepmom Abby, and I came out and they were out in the backyard and my dad was like cutting his hair because my dad was in Vietnam, so they learned how to cut each other's hair.
Oh, wow.
So he was like, Jonathan, he was like, you need a haircut? And John was like, oh, okay. So we went out there and, you know,
let
cut him out. It was really cute. So, yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Especially when at home everything is great. Everything that's happening online doesn't even matter in that space anymore.
I don't even.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And throughout your career, first of all, music videos.
Which ones?
My favorite of all time, 21 Questions.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I was 21 when I did that video.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
21 years old, Meagan Good, and 50 Cent's most loved video, by the way.
Well, I remember the thought was, it's a national commercial. It's playing every day. And so for me at that time, I was making a transition from child actor into adult actor. And it was kind of a hard transition because I still looked very young. You know, when I did Roll Bounce, I turned 23 on that set and I was playing 16 opposite Bow Wow, who was actually 16 at the time. So I was like, okay, how do I get people to see me as an adult? Like, how do I make this transition and get people to understand it and receive it? And I was like, music video. And I was like, oh, 21 Questions is great, da-da-da-da-da. And then it was like, you know, being able to act and do all the things, so.
And then you turned into the Meagan Good, like the sexy Meagan Good that everybody loves.
Thank you.
And what about the transition after that, where you wanted to step into a new realm of your career?
Yeah, that part of it was hard too, you know, because once you make the transition to becoming, okay, now people are like, okay, I see she's an adult. And I'm like, yes, and I'm sexy too. You know what I'm saying? I need y'all to see, you know. But I'm not just that. Getting people to understand that there was more to me and give me an opportunity to come in certain rooms, because a lot of times people be like, oh, well, she's just that girl. So, you know, and there's an assumption of what I can and can't do or what I can and can't bring to the table. I think it was really around like 30 where I was like, okay, in order for me to get people to see me differently, I'm gonna have to do something different. And that's why, you know, initially I did the show Deception and I was like, let me just come into this space. And then I ended up cutting my hair. And then it's just been a journey, I think, of my own self-discovery, but also people discovering me and me learning along the way. I know that I'm capable of a lot, but I've learned that I'm capable of even more than that. Being able to explore at the right time is the right thing. Like even with Harlem coming in initially, I didn't have the job. And they were like, oh, they're auditioning people. And I was like, for Camille? And they were like, yeah. I was like, well, I want to audition. And they were like, you want to audition? I was like, yes. I asked.
You know who else was auditioning?
No, I don't want to know.
Yeah, me neither. Don't tell me.
No, because you know what it is, too, is I also don't believe in competition. You know, I believe what someone else's is someone else's, and I can't take it from them. What's mine is mine, and they can't take it from me. They said, do you want to speak with the creator? I was like, yeah, I would love to speak with her. And I was like, how do you see the character? And she was like, well, I would see her like goddess locks and this is that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I spent 11 hours getting my hair done and my goddess locks. I literally called Grace, who I knew had gotten Quinn. And we were already sister friends, and just like literally we had talked maybe 2 years before that saying we wanted to do a show together. So we could love on each other and support each other and create an atmosphere, you know, for just other women. And lo and behold, I called her, she was like, girl, are you about to? I was like, yes. So we ran the lines there. And then Shaniqua I had met on FaceTime a few years prior. We just claimed in Jesus' name we were gonna do a show together. I'd never met her in person. And then I met her in the room at the audition.
Are you serious? serious?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I actually met her in the bathroom. And she was like, do you remember me? I was like, from where? She told me the story. I was like, what? We ended up crying, praying in the bathroom, doing the whole thing. And then I met Jerry, and instantly it was like,
this is the cast.
I love her. You know, when I left there, I didn't hear anything for 2 weeks. And then when I finally heard, they were like, you got the part, I started crying. And I was like, oh my God, why am I crying? And I realized this many years and decades later, I could still surprise people and show them that I have more to give and I have more inside and I'm capable of more. And so I can't wait to see what else happens. Like after motherhood and all the things, I'm like, we'll see.
Yeah, we're excited for it all. And before we get up out of here, I do want you to expound on your relationship with God and how he's brought you through, because you did tell me before the cameras cut on that you start your day with the gospel.
Absolutely.
Meagan, what was the first song you listened to today, if anything?
Charlie Wilson and T.I., I'm blessed.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like to start the day with at least one gospel song.
Yes. We know that, you know, life has happened in so many ways for you. Shooting all these different shows, to criticism online, with who you're with, the love of your life, all of these things.
Yeah.
How do you stay grounded and especially locked into that Bible, girl? Because I know you read the book.
That's it. You know what's interesting is it's all been a journey. You know, getting saved at 12. And then I was like super duper duper religious. Like nobody told me when they lost their virginity, they're like, don't tell Meagan, you know. Girl, I was like straight Bible stomper. Like very like, I told my sister when she lost her virginity, I was like, I just don't want you to go to hell. Like I was like that kid. And then from that to like, you know, going through like a really rough patch at 19 and being like, I don't understand this, Lord, like this isn't coming to me. I'm just gonna do it my way. And then learning like, oh girl, don't do that. Don't play yourself. Like you really need the Lord. Going through seasons where I thought I was more liberal than I was. And seasons where I didn't realize how religious I was. And that's okay either way, but it wasn't what God was calling me to. And creating an atmosphere for myself where I had to earn love instead of understanding that I have love.
Right.
You know, even like with the criticism, you know, one of the worst but best things happened to me a few years back when this esthetician like messed up my skin and everyone thought that I was bleaching my skin. That was the most like mortifying and heartbreaking situation for me. One, because I love my skin.
Right.
And who I am as a Black woman when there wasn't many examples for us to see growing up.
You've always
and then
been that.
our generation, thank you, but people saying to me that I was that for them at that age. And growing up in a community that was like predominantly white, being called the N-word all the time, you know, family having to fight, all those things. It took me a while to understand. I've always been overconfident, but just understand my value. With that journey, when I felt like someone stripped me of that to some degree by stripping my skin, that for me was heartbreaking and just embarrassing and humiliating. And then the fact that people thought I did it on purpose.
Right.
There was nothing I could do. For the first time in my life, I couldn't get on social media and be like, or say something or get in an interview and be like, this is not true because I looked crazy. And I had to sit in it. And I had to accept that people were gonna think what they were gonna think. And there was nothing I could do about it.
Nothing.
And I had to accept that people are gonna give me the benefit of the doubt because they want to, and that's who they are. And other people are not gonna give me the benefit of the doubt because they don't want to, and that's who they are. And I can't control that. I was like sitting there praying, and I was like, Lord, you knew this was gonna happen to me at this age, why? As I was praying, I just felt this peace come over me in accepting that what if it never fixed itself? And it took 3 years to fix itself.
3?
3 years to fix itself. And really, I should have called the police on this woman. It had, no, for real, she's done it to a few other people too.
Wow.
She should be in jail.
Oh,
No,
man.
dead ass. But
Lawsuit, but yeah.
listen, I couldn't though because she had kids and her husband had just passed, and I was like, I'm gonna let somebody else
That's
do
the
that.
God
I'm
in
gonna let
you.
you do it because it sucks. But my prayer was, please release me from what people think about me. Please release me from taking on that and it hurting my heart or hurting my feelings or me being so sensitive to it, because I had been for prior years. What's important is in front of you and it's accessible to you, and it will always be, and it's not a conditional thing. What's not important for you is the thing that does not matter and it's irrelevant anyways. It doesn't better my life, it doesn't pay my bills, it doesn't this, it doesn't that. So once I had that understanding, and then I had a peace in that understanding, because I understood it logically, but I didn't understand it here.
Right.
Once my heart settled in it, I was like, Lord, ooh, you are so funny, because this is an answered prayer.
Yeah.
And so once I accepted that, my complexion started coming back, one.
Wow.
And I got just delivered from that feeling.
I'm so happy that you're in this space.
Thank you.
'Cause that is a testimony.
Yeah.
And things are only going to grow and flourish from here.
Thank
You're
you.
already a flower that blossomed
Thank you.
in front of us all, and we're so happy to have you. BET Talks, Meagan Good. Make sure you watch Harlem, the finale. It's gonna be over after this.
Yeah.
Is that true, Meagan?
That's what they say, but I think that we should start an online petition for the movie. I'm just saying Sex and the City got theirs. I believe that we
Exactly.
deserve ours.
Absolutely. And it's going to happen because we manifested it on BET Talks.
Amen. Amen.
Yay!